All right, we're good.
Great. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to 1World's quarterly webinar. My name is Sukman Ajar, and I will be hosting today's discussion. Today, we'll be joined by our CEO, Alex Fedosev, as well as members across our team from customer success, ad ops, engineering, and social media. We'll use this opportunity to update everyone on our company's progress and developments and answer any questions you might have for us. We ask that you submit your questions via the little bubble at the bottom of your screen. If you press Q&A, you can submit any questions that you have, and we'll be sure to dedicate some time at the end of today's discussion to answer your questions directly. We do know that many of you might be coming in from our crowdfunding campaign on Republic, but also we might have people coming in from other channels, social media, Telegram. Before we get started, we wanted to give an introduction from our CEO, Alex. Go for it, Alex.
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you very much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you here because we really see support coming from Republic and from other channels that people understand our story and show interest and want to participate and become shareholders of the company. So really happy to have this representation and amazing feedback, by the way, coming from Republic when people read our story and look at what we're doing and they understand it and appreciate it. So this is exactly what we expect to see. We want people to be part of our success. So let me share my screen, Suk, please. All right. So first and foremost, let me remind everybody what 1World is, because I know many people heard about us the first time when they joined Republic. We are a Silicon Valley-based startup that exists since 2011. We registered company back then and then started operations in 2012. And over this almost 8 years, we developed a really sophisticated and comprehensive platform for publishers and brands that includes many components. On the front end, we developed a whole family of engagement tools: pollers, quizzes, trivia, debates, surveys. We have open API to create additional organic experiences, and developed everything to be customizable, potentially branded, and deployed easily on the publisher side. On the back end of our system, we put a lot of intelligence, so we can monitor deployments, measure performance of different poll questions and units called widgets. We have really nice monitoring of geographics, how people vote based on region. So publishers can benefit from that. They can see where audience is coming from, what this audience thinks. They can improve their content based on this. And of course, it's very valuable for advertisers, because when they advertise next to 1World engagement experience, usually the efficiency of such ad campaigns is much higher. We essentially beating the market average by 3x or 5x, as we showed many times, including some recent campaigns. On top of this, we allow people to register and benefit through a loyalty program in our deployment. So every time they do something online through 1World platform, like vote on a poll or participate in debate or share the content or do some other engagements, they can register and receive points, which can be converted to tokens or some other goods. This is really powerful subsystem because very few companies in the world have this type of loyalty program already existent and deployed. And as a result of these three values, the really powerful front end, deep intelligent backend, and this loyalty program, we can advertise with high efficiency and make it really targeted and organic. So we essentially belong to organic advertising or native advertising world, which is, by the way, the future, because recent reports all show that most of advertising in 2 to 5 years is going to be native, because the old model doesn't work. There are many issues with the ad blockers and the efficiency of traditional digital advertising. The ecosystem is way too complicated and cumbersome. And solutions like 1World, they appeal to users and make this experience organic, engaging, definitely the future. So really glad and happy to see this marketing reports coming up and play to our story. And if you look from the benefit perspective, we usually formulate it in this very simple, like 3-bullet expression, because for advertisers, it's a win because they can target people better based on the responses and their participation. and achieve better conversion rates and better return on investment. For publishers, we bring many benefits, but the most important, of course, is, as always, increased revenue, especially during COVID-19 era, what we see all around, that publishers are struggling. It's already challenging business because they create a lot of content, but they don't necessarily good in retaining people or providing them good experiences. And sometimes it's just hurting them significantly. So when a company like 1World comes in, we fix a lot of problems. We increase engagement, we increase loyalty, so fix retention problem. And most importantly, we bring additional revenue because our content, interactive content, is essentially new inventory that can be monetized by these publishers. That's why we have so many success stories developing this year. We talked about our launch in Africa last webinar, and our team members will talk more about it today. And very similar, we have tremendous progress in other regions, Caribbean, Europe, and Latin America. So we'll talk about this too. And then finally, for audiences, that's also beneficial. Unlike Google and Facebook, we do share some profit with the audiences on the sites because they can earn points and they can redeem them in tokens. So they can get rewarded. They actually get something material out of their contribution and engagement. And that makes it really complete. So we have win-win-win formula in our system. And usually when we pitch to publishers, we go over these 3 simple value propositions. I just want to share with you how we usually approach our clients. We talk about engagement via our interactive tools. We talk about monetization via advertising and syndication of content across many sites. And we talk about the retention via rewards for engagement. And the big thing for publishers is that deployment of our system is not complicated at all. Usually it takes only embedding a piece of JavaScript onto the website and then managing the content creation and rotation from the backend. That's why we have so many recent launches, which you'll hear a lot today, because it's really easy for consumers to participate in 1World activities and experiences, but it's really powerful for publisher. Quick launch, many benefits, and that's why we keep growing our system tremendously. Specifically for July, since we're talking about what happened between now and our previous webinar, we continue delivering many features on the product side. Our team is going with agile process, which means we're doing the releases every 3 weeks. And in some cases, we can do even faster turnarounds. There was an urgent feature that was needed for a specific customer or specific launch. Some of these features are related to the additional administrative and advertising functionalities. So you'll hear about these new developments. The publisher deployment continues, of course, in our traditional regions of strength like US, but continue our success in Africa with more publishers coming. Really good progress in Europe, both Eastern and Western parts. We launched in Caribbean, and we have a great local representative who is bringing us to more and more accounts and more common. We'll talk about one announcement in a moment. In terms of advertising, same thing. We build on these clusters by region, like in Africa, Europe, and North America, and matching advertising campaigns to these clusters. So have quite a few in development. The most interesting in North America, Singapore, and Europe. That's what we're developing as we speak. Some new team members joined us recently. There'll be a slide about that. And yeah, Caribbean and Latin America are the 2 areas where I can see very quick growth, similar to what we did in Africa. So please expect it to be announced in Q3 this very quarter. And in Singapore, as we always do, we have a strategic partner, which is in the city. It's a company called Somin, and they implemented AI-based engine for marketing and social media, especially, including influencer network. And we met these folks a few months ago. We both presented at the online webinar, talked about innovation in marketing and online media. So we became very good friends and signed licensing agreement since then. And now they represent us in Singapore and they bring in some really major brands like tier 1 household names. We have 2 of them right now in proposal stage. We plan to run them in Southeastern Asia, mostly in Thailand and Taiwan, maybe Singapore itself. And we'll report it next at the next webinar. So with this quick updates, I also want to remind everybody that the way 1World system works is connecting demand and supply on the business side, right? So we have our widgets deployed on all this nice website. And you see probably familiar names like Newsweek and IBT that we have for a long time. But some interesting new developments. We have a really good dialogue going on with the American media, which is a huge media holding in the US, more than 700 million monthly impressions. So we already presented and got really positive response and continue negotiations on both editorial and commercial side. Same goes in UK, same goes in other places. So I just put a few examples of what are the new big publishers coming on supply side, okay? And similar on demand side, we continue our partnership with a few agencies and channels like Republic and Angle 42 in Florida and many others that keep bringing us the new advertising deals. So we're combining direct deals coming from those channels and the programmatic advertising. And so what I'm really happy also about the last month or two is that our operations team has put in a major effort to create a whole new innovation on the way how we connect demand and supply through 1World ad tag, which is really smart to combine direct deals, programmatic from the partners, like big publishers, and our own programmatic solution into one cohesive implementation called Smart Tag. So you'll hear more about this, but it's already in test. It's essentially already exists and we're using it. And from operational perspective, it means more streamlined process, because before, you probably know advertising space is very complicated. You have DSPs and SSPs and DMPs, all kind of participants. And when you link demand and supply, you have dependency on other companies to do it right. So what we're doing consistently is to try to eliminate these dependencies on third party and do maximum ourselves. Hence, we have this new innovation in test. This is the picture. I want to remind everybody how diversified and across the globe we are. So we have people in North America, Europe, Asia. This is even not a full list of our employees and contractors because we added a few more people recently. So we'll continue updating. And I actually want to announce that we have new head of Latin America deployments, and his name is Aaron Lopez Flores. Really happy to have him on board, based in Mexico City. He came from Forbes Mexico and worked for Google, many other prominent companies in this area. And we developed a strategy about picking up some of the accounts we already deployed in the past, as well as new ones. And I really believe in this region. I think there's great dynamics there, higher growth potential. We have many successes in the past, and we want to amplify and develop them further. So I'm not sure if Aaron can speak now, but maybe during the Q&A session, we can give you a quick window of opportunity to speak and present yourself, Aaron, if you don't mind.
Great. Yeah, I think Aaron just responded, so we'll be able to, if anyone has any questions towards him, he'll be able to respond at the end. Great.
Okay, very good. Okay,
awesome.
back to you,
my screen. Great, thank you. Let's see.
Actually,
right.
let's do it now because I just promoted Aaron to panelist. Aaron, would you please say a few words? Aaron, please try. If you unmute yourself, you should be able to speak.
Hey, Alex, thank you.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, Aaron, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Aaron, can you hear us?
Thank you, Alex, so much for the introduction. Yes, I was just trying to see how will I be able to participate, but I just see that you upgraded me to a panelist. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad to be here. What was the question again?
Yeah, just tell briefly about your background and plans.
Yeah, so I've been working with the publisher side for some time now, mostly in Mexico, and I really think that the publishing side in Latin America needs to transform itself if it is to survive and then thrive in the post-pandemic world. And I actually came into I gained knowledge of 1World through Republic, and I contacted them while I was at Forbes, trying to see if it was a proper product for us to offer. And then I just believe now that it's the correct product for many publishers in Latin America. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad to be here, and I'll be here for anything.
Yeah, great to have you on board, Aaron. And yeah, I believe that your background is perfect for us because like most of 1World team, you combine skills in media business and media industry and technical innovation. I've been part of Google, especially part of the analytical team. So thank you for joining us and really looking forward for great successes together.
Great. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. So next up, everyone, I just want to talk a little bit about our Republic campaign. So our Republic campaign is something that we launched just a few months ago on republic.co. It's one of the largest crowdfunding platforms on the internet. It allows any startup to submit their idea, be listed among other awesome startups that are doing some disruption in some other space, and it allows investors from around the world to make an investment as low as $100. So I know a lot of you might be coming in from Republic. If you are, if you're an investor, thank you very much. We really do appreciate your support. And if you've been considering investing, this is a great opportunity to learn more about us, ask questions, and consider making that investment. So far, we've made $168,000 of our goal, which was $100,000. We have a cap of $1 million, and we're going to be running for about 5 more months. So you have the opportunity to follow us at republic.co/1worldonline. On it, in addition to being able to make the investment, you could actually look at our pitch deck, right? This is very similar to a pitch deck that a potential large investor would receive, where you can see exactly the problem that we're facing, the solution that we're providing, and then the market potential, right? So it's really a great opportunity to learn from top to bottom what our actual intention is in terms of our products. In addition to our Republic campaign itself, we actually had the opportunity to utilize our own platform in helping other crowdfunding campaigns. So Emily, after me, will be talking a little bit more about this, but I'd like to just highlight a few of them. Genobank is another company that is on republic.co. They're in the genomic sequencing space. Obviously, the middle is our own campaign, 1World's, and to the right is Zephyr Aerospace. It's a product for the airline industry. And these are 3 opportunities that we thought, we have an awesome platform that helps advertisers draw traffic to whatever they want to. Why don't we help other companies who are, crowdfunding? So this is a really awesome segment that we're testing out, and we look forward to testing out more in the future. And in addition to our Republic campaign, it's actually linked to a reality TV show. So Alex, our CEO, was able to pitch on live television on Meet the Drapers. Meet the Drapers is a television show that's hosted by Tim Draper and a few of his family members. Tim is known to have investments in Coinbase, Tesla, Twitter, and Alex had the opportunity to pitch on the show live. And in addition to the show, it's actually linked to Republic. So you can actually search our episode on YouTube right now if you search 1World Meet the Drapers. And I really do encourage everyone to check that out. And without further ado, I'd like to transition to Emily. Emily, would you like for me to share your screen, or would you like for me to hold the presentation for you?
No, I can do it. I will
Okay.
share my screen.
Great.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Can everyone see and hear me?
All good.
Okay.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. This is Emily coming to you from Southern New Hampshire, and I will be covering customer success updates. This one. First, let's start with publishers and review engagement rates from Q2. From our top first-tier U.S. publisher partners, starting with Newsweek, the content team created over 1,151 polls in Q2 for Newsweek. As you can see from this graph, We experienced many spikes in engagement rates, with an average of 100,000 votes a day, with one day receiving over 500,000 votes. Most popular sections for Newsweek are politics with 8.9% engagement rate, opinion with 8.8%, and US with 7.4%. Overall average engagement rate for Newsweek is 6%. Now on to the IB Times US edition. We created over 578 polls in Q2. And as you can see from this chart, shows healthy engagement rate throughout Q2 and beyond. With their top performing widgets were World with 7.4% engagement rate, Sports with 7.6%, and National with a whopping 17.6% engagement rate, with an overall average of 6.6%. These high engagement rates are partially due to monitoring 1World widgets on Google Analytics, where we can target articles with highest traffic and create polls accordingly. In Q2, we have expanded our publisher partners to include regions all around the world. We have expanded into Africa region with Wally heading the region. We have onboarded the following publishers: Punch, Tribune Online, Business Day, The Nation, Not Just Okay, and others. We have also expanded into Caribbean with Wendell heading the region, starting with Guardian GT and CNC3. In Western Europe with The Good Times, Eastern Europe with Menfin, Economist, and Finance UA. In Q2, we experienced a lot of self-registrations from Latin America, Forbes Mexico, and Lim Niquin, can't pronounce, from Eastern Europe, Africa, lots of self-registrations from Africa, like about 3 to 4 a day for the last month, US, India, and Asia. And we are also pursuing new leads as well. In the UK, from Argent Media Group, US, American Media, LLC, which has the following publishers: Us Weekly, Men's Journal, and Touch Weekly, as well as like 6 other publications in that group. India, Times Now News, South Korea, Shozan, and Caribbean, Nation News. Content team continues to support our partners with exciting new content, such as our trivia feeds. We did a whole trivia feed about Doctors Without Borders for an article on the Good Times, as well as Bhutan, a bunch of trivia questions about that smallest nation, I think, in the world, for the Good Times as well. We also have created interesting and relevant surveys about how COVID-19 crisis has affected you, as well as quizzes, ID quiz, like which presidential candidate should you vote for? Oh, wait, I think, and debates. This is about the national debt crisis, which is very relevant at this time during the COVID-19 crisis and the presidential election coming up. So in June, we expanded our content team to include local talent to cover relevant regions. In Africa, Nikkei and EB, who are based out of Nigeria, joined our 1World team to support our African cluster of publishers. In the UK, we have Chloe, and in Asia, Isabel. So we're ready to take on more publishers in the region with their support, content support. Now on to advertisers. The content team has created ad campaigns through our 1World campaign management platform for Geno Bank, as Souk went over as well earlier, Zephyr Seat, Sparkle, and for our own 1World campaign. We have created polls as ads, as you can see in this demonstration. Polls and banners, where we connected our polls to banner ads created by Dima, our on-site graphic designer. And trivia feeds, where we have a pertinent trivia that is relevant to the campaign. And such as this is like a Web 3.0 for the 1World campaign. So, and when people click on an answer, it transfers into the ad banner right here, along with the correct answer. So it's really engaging, and it's really getting a lot of positive feedback and positive engagement. Okay, and we have, sorry, go back. We have deployed these widgets on many publications, such as from Times Group. They have lots of publications in their portfolio. They have deployed our widgets, Newsweek, and also IBT Media. Now on to new and improved product features. So let's start with our insight pages, where visitors can see all sorts of metrics and stats about a poll with interactive maps right here. Can show how each state or region, depending on, you know, if it's US or Africa, how each state, how they voted. Compare and contrast. Like down here, you can see how many people voted on this poll in the yes answer option, as opposed to other people on other sites with this poll that is shared. Being able to register on the platform, and where audiences are also exposed to more ads, increasing ad revenue. So here's an ad here, here's another ad right here. Actually, this is our ad that we created from Direct Deals. And that it increases ad revenue to the publisher. So it's a win-win. It's a win for the audience, it's a win for the publisher. Now on to snapshots. Snapshots features are continuing to be the most popular posts on our social media channels. Snapshots will become automatically created on our platform, ready and easy to share on social media for the publishers. And so, which is another tool that they can use, the publishers can use to get more engagement and to drive more audiences to their site. So to help the content team scale poll creation, we have implemented the SmartX feature on our platform, which is an artificial intelligence engine where articles are automatically linked to relevant polls, making the audience experience more engaging. So here we have a sports article about Lionel Messi, and then here is a poll that was imported through the SmartX feature about him. So it's relevant to the article. And if you scroll, you know, continue to scroll through the poller widget, there will be more polls about him, as well as polls about Barcelona, you know, the soccer league, and so forth. And here's another one as well about NASCAR. So, and for Q3, we plan to be working on a 1World content library where users can go to a dedicated 1World webpage, search, and choose from a library of over 48,000 polls, 534 quizzes, and 2,700 trivia questions, attach ad tags, and upload onto their site. So it's kind of a self-service tool that will help, you know, self-registrations and that sort of thing to make it easier for them to use our tools, not only for engagement, but also to increase our ad revenue or ad sources. So, and that's pretty much it for me. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, great
we can
work,
probably
Emily.
Yeah, thanks, Elma. We probably save questions at the end. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. So that's it for me. Thank you. And sorry.
Can you please just say to the audience how many people you have in your team, content, customer success, now that we have additional talent?
Yes.
How big it is?
We have about, let's see, 5 in the US, 2 in Africa, 1, let's see. So that's, so 7, about 10 on the total team.
Right.
The UK, you have 1 for Asia. And then we're probably going to hire some more content creators from the Caribbean to help out with those publishers, and also for Latin America as well. Once we start onboarding Latin American, publishers, we'll definitely expand our team to, and also Philippines as well. We have a content creator that, I've gotten in contact with. So when we expand to that region, we will have relevant local people to create, polls that are, relevant to that region.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, so 10 people now and more coming. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Let me see.
Back to you, Suk.
Great. Well, do you want to transition over? I think we have Julia's next. Let's see here.
Yes, that's right.
Do you want to share your screen, Julia? Or?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yep.
Great. Okay, so hello everyone. This is my first time joining the webinar since I'm new to the team. So let me tell you about a couple of things about myself. As with most of the team, I come from the mixed background. I used to work as a lawyer at the start of my career. Then I moved on to an e-commerce company where I was a commercial director and in charge of all the advertising. And recently I worked for IT SaaS businesses where I was a part of the product management team. So yes, I understand the process on both the client side and the business side. So hopefully I will make like the managing of the projects on both publishers and advertisers comfortable for the clients. So so my position with 1World is operations manager, but I will let Dan, the head of operations, tell you more about the progress on this front. Meanwhile, I will tell you about our progress on the Eastern European market, because I'm helping us to extend our portfolio in this region right now. So this month, we've onboarded 4 new publishers, which are Minfin, Observatel, Finance UA, and Economist. 3 of those, Minfin, like all of those except for Economist UA, are very large websites with large traffic, I think about 8 million monthly users each. So we've already onboarded them, and we are seeing a lot of engagement from all of them. So let's take Minfin as an example. As you can see, this is the map of Ukraine, because this is a Ukrainian website. And as you can see, all the regions are voting, and you can see the statistics on our Insight page demonstrating the difference in colors and numbers. Apart from our publisher portfolio, we've also extended to new advertisers. And the prominent one is Parimatch, which is one of the biggest advertisers in the region. This is a sports betting solution. And we've signed a contract with them just recently. And we're going with launching the campaign using 2 content pieces which are 1World polls, which we'll place on the publishers dedicated to sports or in the sports section of news publishers, as you can see in this case. So this is 1World polls, as you can see, in two formats: horizontal in article, which will, after the vote, this poll will lead the user to a landing page for Pair Match, where you will see the result of your vote, the statistics, how other people voted. And the second format is trivia. I'm sure Suk and Emily already told you about this format. So this is one of the most, this is one of the formats Pair Match was most excited about, because it includes an engaging game-like experience for the user while providing the opportunity to learn, and also drawing attention to the ad, which is also always related to the topic of the question. So yes, as you can see, we're building our portfolio in the region, and hopefully we'll extend it to the amount which will allow us to source more direct deals and more opportunities for both our advertisers and publishers. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julia. Appreciate it. And we can transition over to Maria now. If you can stop sharing your screen, Julia.
Yeah.
Great. Thank
please.
you. And this is a great opportunity, everyone. Our last speaker is Maria from our engineering team. This is a good opportunity to start getting your questions in through the Q&A option at the bottom of your screen. Right after Maria, we'll do a sum up, and then we'll start answering any questions you might have. Maria, do you want to share your screen?
Hello, yes, I would like to share my screen.
Okay, great.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Perfect. So hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Maria, and my position is a project manager. And today I would like to share with you our product update for the last few months. Mainly, we were focused on tasks that are related to increasing revenue, collecting and displaying statistics, and establishing revenue sharing ratios, and also adding some new roles to the system. So I would like to start with the SmartX feature that was already mentioned by Emily. How does it work? So if this option is enabled, the system will automatically fill up empty widget with the most relevant polls from the public library of the 1World system. And the key advantage is an analysis of the context of the article and the formation of the list of polls in the widget related to the context. So publishers should not spend too much time for poll creation and tracking the most popular articles. The system will do it itself. The next update is that now we can add side ad units also for quizzes. This placement of ad units showed good results for polls widget, as there are more opportunities for ad clicks and accordingly for increasing revenue. And now partners are able to place ad units with any allocation for quizzes. The next significant update is related to inside pages, page where users can see additional statistics connected with a certain poll question. Many publishers don't have a custom inside page, and in this case, the system uses the default inside page. And previously, we didn't know about the number of views, clicks, and revenue from inside page. But currently, admins have an opportunity to see statistics about the default inside page performance on the special dashboard. Also, we've added a separate set of ad units for mobile inside page. Ad units for different devices should have different sizes. So the set we've created provides an opportunity to add different ad tags for different devices. And it is an additional way to monetize our traffic. The next big bucket of updates is related to campaign management business model. Now we have campaign management revenue reports that collect data about advertisers' activities and calculate 1World profit and costs for the third-party services. Admins can see information about total revenue for some period of time and can see reports by each advertiser separately. And finally, the latest update is that we've added a new role to this 1World system. It is an agent. The agent has an ability to provide different actions on behalf of advertiser for advertisers' convenience, and the admin can assign the agent role to a regular existing user. Admin can also attach the agent to one or several advertisers and vice versa. Agent has access only to the campaign management interface, and when he logs into the system, he will see the list of advertisers assigned to him. Here he can see advertiser's name, numbers of campaigns, and its different statuses. Agent can click on any advertiser from the list and open his profile. The general statistics or statistics for the particular campaign are available for agent. Also, it is possible to create new campaigns and edit or clone existing campaigns. To create the new campaign on behalf of advertisers, the agent should press the Create Campaign button and fill up required fields such as audience, budget, start and end date, and etc. Then agent can create a new creative on behalf of advertiser. There are 4 available options such as poll as an ad, poll and static banner, poll only, and static banner only. The agent can also replenish the balance of the advertiser. He can add new credit card, but doesn't have access to saved credit cards. And on the next step, agent has an opportunity to pay for their campaigns. He can use either advertisers' balance for payments or credit card or bank invoice option. And for the token campaigns, he can make payment from his blockchain wallet. So in this way, we've implemented the full business flow for this role. That's our main achievements related to the product side. Thanks everybody for attention. Feel free to ask questions.
Thank you, Maria. Appreciate it. Apologies, we actually have 2 more members from a 1World team who will be presenting. Dominique and Leonard, would you like to share your screen?
Sure, I can share. Can you hear me?
Yes, thanks, Leonard. Dominique and Leonard will be talking on social media updates and also community updates for 1World Online. Go for it, Leonard.
All right. One moment, let me share.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Leonard Jackson and thank you for joining us today for our webinar presentation. Let me provide some information for community performance during the last quarter, and Dominique will follow up and provide updates for our social media efforts. All right, next slide. All right, as you can see, we had pretty robust channel performance last period. Our peak messaging on the community Telegram channel was 65 new users around the beginning of May, and that corresponded with our peak channel messaging of 40 messages. This is a huge improvement over our last reporting period, and we'd like to credit the synergy between the community and our really aggressive, improved social media schedule. In total, we added about 512 users to our main channel. During this period, our most active day and time shifted from Sunday to Wednesday and from roughly noon to roughly midnight. This is most likely due to the ongoing Republic campaign, which seems to have shifted the demographic of our user base slightly towards Western users, whereas we had a lot of holdovers from other markets, from the ICO and just historical users. And we've seen a lot of onboarding specifically around the campaign. Just like to credit it with that. Next slide. Right. Our total channel members have also improved dramatically from the last period, with the peak user base of 1,503 members, which is up almost 6% since last period. To reiterate, this was composed of 512 new members, which is up from 223 of last period. This had the net effect of an average of about 11 messages per day, which is also up from 2 average messages per day. So as you can see, we've had fire sale, much better metrics on the channel. We're seeing a lot more people posting. We're seeing a lot more people asking questions via the channel and via PMs. The only thing I could really think to credit it would be the Republic campaign, but we have tried a more proactive, what's the word I'm looking for? Idea. We're attempting to push the value statement of the company a little bit more. Instead of just providing content that's general education about ad tech and crypto in general, we're trying to educate our users more on how they can use the product, what their specific application would be, and providing troubleshooting for users that have problems on the platform. So that increased interaction has greatly increased our metrics, and I'm very happy from that as a community manager. All right, and next slide. Oh, wait, I got our slides mixed up a bit. I think I got ahead of myself. Sorry about that, guys. All right, to continue with our KPIs, we had an average of 25% conversion rate for our new members joining. And to explain conversion rates on a platform like Telegram, let me define it. And this is essentially where a user joined the channel and posted at least one message, and I didn't delete said message because a lot of times we get dating services and spam and all of that nonsense. And then that user also had to come back and check the channel at least one subsequent time. This is very important because, as you may have gleaned, there is a problem with spam on the Telegram channel currently, kind of a holdover from the ICO days. So this more discerning metric makes sure that we're actually counting people that are coming on the channel, and if not always contributing, at least putting in one good serious indicator of actual channel participation and not just trying to conquest on top of our efforts on the channel. And that's pretty much all for me. Let me hand you guys over to Dominique for an explanation of our social media stacks. Thank you for listening. Questions at the end, and here you go, Dominique.
Thank you so much, Leonard, and thank you so much, Dominique. Great and happy to be here. So I want to begin with just giving some general information about. Share on my screen.
Okay. Sorry about
I'll pull it back up real quick.
All right, and I'm going mute.
There we go. Thank you. Some general information about the 1World social media platforms that we're currently using. Currently, 1World uses several principal social media platforms. We use Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and a new next generation social media platform known as Sapien. And we'll talk a little bit about each. So begin with just giving some raw information about where does 1World stand currently at the moment in our overall social media interface. Currently, we have 23,540 followers on our Facebook page. And going to give a little more in-depth breakdown on some of our Twitter. So currently on Twitter, we're just under 5,000 followers. 6,000. We currently have 5,591 followers, and we're averaging roughly about 100,000 plus tweets a month. The precise number is 103 impressions is our average for the last quarter. And as you can see in some of the graphics, some of our most popular informations tend to be some of our snapshots when we're sharing the information about how we're doing, promoting our Republic campaign, as well as just general information about things that are going on with 1World and things that we have coming up. Our most popular tweet in the month of June was about our partnership with the blockchain-based platform Sapien. Then just some general information. Most popular tweets also tend to range. They can include our daily snapshots. And this is one of the snapshot polls. Emily talked about those as being one of the features. Then on LinkedIn, we currently have roughly about 100,000 impressions as well, and a following of just under 4,000 persons on our LinkedIn pages. Leonard?
Sorry about that. Doubling back, and can everybody hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Here. All right, sorry for the little interruption. Looking forward for the next quarter, we're looking to expand our FAQ and knowledge base, and that's an immediate effort. As we're seeing more traction with the platform, we're having a lot more questions. Have a single repository of information that guys can refer to without help, and if there's anything else that they need, they can query a live agent for one-on-one assistance. Moving on, we look to implement our VIP program in the form of a Telegram group. That should be going live in the next couple of days. We had a little hiccup with the implementation. What that will be, if you haven't been on one of these webinars before, is essentially a group of high priority and members, frequent users, and stakeholders that allows for a direct conduit to the company. You can request information, get updates on business development, features, just a little bit more of an active lifeline than the normal community experiences. And mainly the value there is a direct line with the team. So if you have any questions about operations, it doesn't have to go through the main channel. You can get one answer, which is always great. Increase user education of our key value propositions. That's for publishers, advertisers, and users. Our company developments, our feature implementation, I just kind of touched on this. And that effort is unilateral across our social media and our telegrams, but definitely something we're working on.
Your voice is kind of going, your voice is kind of breaking out a little bit, Leonard. Can you like try to unmuting or muting and muting again?
All right, one moment. Is this a bit better?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. And my final point is continued promotion of our very successful Republic campaign across our Telegram and WhatsApp channel. Also our social media channels, not to preempt Dominique, but definitely want to stress, especially for our new users that are joining for just this purpose, the status of the campaign, significant updates about the campaign, and just keep everybody on a level playing field as far as education about what's going on in Republic and the platform in general. And that's it for me. Next slide. Moving into the
thank you, Leonard, Dominic, appreciate it. You can just leave it here for now. So we're going to open up to questions. If anyone has any questions, again, feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of the Zoom screen, and you can submit them directly to us. We haven't received any yet, but we do have a lot of questions that we receive via our Republic crowdfunding campaign, and we can direct a few questions on that, and we can talk on those a little bit now. I'm just looking through a list right now. I can ask some of our team members directly about a few of these here. Alex, I remember during when you were pitching on Meet the Draper as a television show, you actually had a really interesting conversation with Tim Draper about the direction that, that potentially 1World can go. And it seemed at the time that both of you shared similar visions on the directions of being able to, at scale, provide media units that are almost automated, and it seems like smart tags are going that direction. Can you talk a little bit more on smart tags, what your vision is in the future of the direction that will be going?
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question. Let me separate into two parts. One is the content part, the actual interactive content. Another one is advertising. So we made tremendous progress on the first part. And that's actually what Tim Draper and his family were asking about the relevancy, how we make sure that the poll questions match the article and they create organic experience, because we clearly can do it by hand, right? By linking the articles and poll questions. But back then we didn't have any automated solutions. So that's the one we, quite a few team members talked about it, that we have the Smart X technology, which allows to find the best poll out of the library and link it to the article. And so Emily and team are testing it for a few months now. And we see that it certainly performs well on certain categories like sports and entertainment. We still need to do a bit more work on some other categories. I think like news and politics is a huge one, and results are getting better and better. So this part, I think we're very confident that this move in the right direction, and it indeed helps scalability because it allows to create more content by just using our library, right, instead of typing new questions. And eventually what we want to do is not only find the existing questions, but also create some on the fly. We call it Smart Y. So essentially we want to continue Smart X, Smart Y, and Smart Z, like 3 generations. First, just finding the content, second, generating content, and third, also linking both content and advertising. So for this one, third piece, the tags, the advertising tags, I think there's a lot of wheels in motion at the moment, and we should be ready to talk about this at the next webinar with some data that we will collect from test deployments. But to summarize, on the content side, yes, it's moving full steam. And on the advertising side, it's started, and we should have a good update next time.
That's great. That's great to hear. And then more generally, I'm curious, I mean, I'm sure a lot of our attendees have questions around, you know, regardless of what the company is, we've all been affected by COVID-19 globally. What have you seen in terms of the current state of things as COVID, as the remote living has affected the world in terms of the digital media space? So I'm curious more specifically, what have you seen as, you know, in terms of user engagement, and then also any differences in how we work with advertisers and publishers?
Mm-hmm. Right. It's almost like two questions. What is the user behavior, and how the landscape, the publisher overall business is changing? The users engagement was really high in March, April timeframe. That's where we got a lot of record numbers, daily votes, monthly votes, level of engagement, as Emily showed on the graph. We had tremendous spikes because it was still like US election primaries were going and COVID already started. Now we don't see as much engagement because people already kind of back to normal. It's still high, but not as high it used to be 2 months ago. But we believe that globally, yeah, the trend are always going up. If you look at a big scale, user engagement never stops, right? It's just more sites coming up, more topics to discuss, and we definitely see that huge potential in terms of traffic worldwide in our space. And in terms of business models, that's a really interesting one because we've never seen so much of benefits and speed of how we win accounts, because now they're much more negotiable than before. It usually took a month to close big accounts in our previous history. And nowadays sometimes takes only one phone call, one presentation, and within 30 or 40 minutes, the publisher or advertiser on the other side saying, okay, we are sold, we like what you do, and let's go forward. Then they have a couple of emails to follow up and close the deal. Never seen this before. Usually it was slow, there's more negotiations. Now everybody's moving faster because there's a struggle, honestly, right, going on because cash flow, there's a lot of challenges for publishers, and advertisers are reducing their budgets, but they do want to spend the remaining money wisely and get good return on investment, but good conversion rates. So both factors are really playing to 1World benefit because we're growing our network and we're getting more business.
Right. And I think one thing that's so interesting is the deployment, 1World deployment is so easy and simple, right? I mean, a lot of it just takes easy deployment of the IMU, and our team supports, you know, with content creation that's very specific and tailored towards the publisher's theme. So I think that's definitely one of the things that we've seen is a perk on our side. A few other things around basically the direction that we're going. I know every few months we have a new announcement on regions that we're launching, and I knew a couple months ago it was Africa and certain parts of Europe. Now, more recently, we've had a lot of development happening in the Caribbean and the South and Latin America. Could you talk a little bit more on that expansion? Was it natural? How did that come about, and what the direction you see going forward?
Right. Yeah, it's multiple factors happening actually. First and foremost, I want to express my deep gratitude and appreciation to Wendell McConey, who's on this call. And it was amazing to have people like him kind of come into our ecosystem and joining our team, our extended team, I should say, because he is a hero behind the Caribbean launch. He invested in our company on Republic. Thank you very much for that, Wendell. And also he offered to work with us closely and look at the business opportunities that he can bring in. And since he is originally from Trinidad and Tobago, even though lives in Florida nowadays, but he still has many good connections. And we had tremendous pleasure working with him and opening some of the agencies and publishers. And we just launched Guardian in Trinidad and Tobago. And what I really appreciate about people like Wendell and many others that are regional managers, they really believe in 1World and they see the big picture, not just opportunity to launch engagement and advertising, but some other benefits of our platform. Like for example, Trinidad and Tobago, they're going into elections in August very soon. And they're very interested to see analytics, how people vote by, for example, a province, and some interest in slice and dice analytics. So we are running a series of polls, and we arranged our Professor Augie Grant, our chief research person on the team, to analyze this data once we have enough and present some interesting findings back to the publisher or back to the advertisers. And that definitely adds more color to our platform, right? So we're talking about engagement, advertising, and analytics, and some kind of organic research style functionality. So Wendell absolutely gets it and helps us to grow this business so we can do cross research across many different countries in the region to see what people think about the same issues, especially have COVID-19 still, of course, going on, and some other regional issues. So that's why these regional developments are so good. People understand the full value of the platform. So very optimistic about Caribbean. Thanks to Aaron, we got Latin America. And Julie doing an amazing job in Europe. So we're going out to quite a few countries there, actually, starting with Eastern Europe, but we have a few Western Europe opportunities in progress, and we hopefully report them completed next time, that a couple of more launches, but because proposals are already out. And yes, to summarize, all these regions are very promising, but the combination of them is even better because we can run some advertising campaigns across regions, which gives us additional power, additional attractiveness in advertisers' eyes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously great to see growth and be able to show growth like this. We like to be transparent as possible, especially that's why we like to host these webinars. It's because a lot of our investors come on to these webinars and we want to show them and give them a seat to our table to be very transparent and knowing all the developments that are happening. I don't see any questions coming in, so I think we're just above the hour, so we might be closing it out soon. But before we do, our investment campaign has about 5 months left. We've reached 160% above our goal, and you have the opportunity now and still to make an investment through there. If you have any questions after this webinar that you might have, feel free to direct it towards our discussion section. It's a very lively section. On every day we're receiving a few questions and responses about our application or platform. So that would be a great area to direct your questions towards. And we hope to have another webinar in the next coming weeks that will update on the smart tag developments, as well as a few other developments that we're working on. We actually have a few big announcements that we'll be making through our Republic campaign in the next coming weeks. So I would like to once again thank everyone for attending, and thanks for our panelists for describing all your work. And I appreciate it, and goodbye.
Thank you very much, Suk and team. And talk to everybody else. Thank you for joining, folks. Talk to you in August.
Great. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.